Well, hello, it's me again, Akamai Chats. Welcome to another video of mine. Okay, so I wanted to talk about, like, let's say you thought about all the different things that you want to do, um, turn your hobby into a business, turn your skills into a business, leave your job, and start a business, whatever the case may be. Excuse me. So, what is the next step? How do you actually start your business? Well, there's like a few nuts and bolts, like opening up a checking account, uh, filing for your business license. I would do the business license first because you want to open up your checking account in your business name. So, one of the major things I want to advise everybody is don't mix your business funds with your personal funds, and that's because of taxes. Eventually, yes, you'll have to pay taxes unless you want to, have like a cash only business that you do everything under the table, but we're not talking about that here. So if you want to start a legitimate business, go get your business license first. But those are like all the technical things that you need to do. But what I would recommend before you want to test your idea to see if there is interest in the market for what it is that you do. And don't worry about competition because, like let's say you have a dog walking business. There are tons of people out there who do the same thing, right? Just tons. And the reason why people hire you is because they like you. So it doesn't matter because nobody else in the world is like you. And so you can get business that way, right? So just don't even think about competition. Oh, why should I start a YouTube channel? Because there's like 3 billion people on there. So what? If you have something that people like to hear and they like, seeing you and they like the way you structure your channel or whatever, they will come back for more because it's personality based, it's information based. So you get the idea. Don't worry about competition. You have your idea, just go forward and start planning what it is that you want to do. But one of the things that I recommend, so that you save some time, money, and heartache, is to test your idea to see if there is, like I said, if there's enough interest out there and there's enough customers to pay you for whatever it is that you do, you make, or the services you provide. And one of the, like, it depends on what kind of business you have. Like, let's just say I talked about the cookie lady in my last video. The cookie lady was testing the market to see if there was enough people out there that would buy her cookies, right? So if you have a food business, that's the easiest one to test because you can do a farmer's market, you can do craft fairs. There's a lot of ways that you can test your product to make sure that people like it, right? And it's one thing that your family goes, oh yeah, you make the best cookies, but it could just be like, attaboy, you make really good cookies. But so you get the idea. And so test your idea. Go out there. Like for example, if you want to open up a restaurant, right? Restaurant is a very stressful business. If you don't really know if you don't have experience in running a restaurant or running a kitchen, managing people, if you don't have those experiences, please, for the love of Pete, don't go and open up a restaurant. Test it first, right? So go work in a restaurant. If you want to open a restaurant, go work in a restaurant. And I have a story about that. Okay, so my brother, I come from a family of pawn shop owners because my dad had a shop and my brother had a shop, and I work with my brother in his shop, and I wanted to open up my own pawn shop. But my dad said, you can't do it because you're a girl. Like, whatever's dad, I want to do it myself. So I went to the Small Business Administration and they had SCORE, the Service Corps of Retired Executives. That's what SCORE stands for. And I went to the guy and I'm like, I want to open my own pawn shop. And he's like, okay, well, what kind of experience do you have doing that? And I said, well, I currently work in my brother's pawn shop. And he said, okay, well, do you know how to do inventory? Do you know how to do the books? Do you know how to, whatever? And I'm like, well, I know how to write loans and I know how to sell stuff. And he said, you need to learn the back end of the business in order to run a successful, profitable business. You have to learn everything, not just the front side, but you've got to learn the back side. Like in the restaurant business, it's, running the kitchen and being a good, what do you call that? The guy that gives out the orders. Ex, anyway, I don't know the word. It'll come to me later. But you know what I mean? So you have to know how to run the business. You just can't, like, I love cooking, so I'm going to open up a restaurant, and just please don't do that. Try it out, work in a restaurant. Like, let's say you were a financier, right? A financier, you're a banker, and you've always dreamed of opening up a kitchen and opening up a restaurant or a diner or whatever. Then you can test out your recipes. Let's say you have a booth at the farmers market and you do that, every week, and you can test your recipes, see what people like, and get their feedback, like actual people getting their feedback. But you're not paying for a brick and mortar place. You're not paying for rent and electricity and insurance and payroll and all of those things that can really just ruin you, right? And then I make example for the restaurant, because of my experience with my scrapbook store. It was a wonderful store. We had it for 3 years, but we opened it right before that whole that mortgage debacle, and people were losing their jobs, and so their hobby money dried up, and we had to shut down our store. And it was horrible. Did I say it was horrible? It was horrible. So, because we had everything invested into that store, and financially it was devastating. So don't make those mistakes. Take baby steps and test out your ideas first. And I had some other examples. Oh yeah, Facebook Marketplace. That's a great place to try out your recipes, or see if there's enough interest in you building, putting together furniture, offer your services there. If you work for an appliance company and you want to start your own, you can do that on the side, do that on the weekends. Like, you can fix people's microwave ovens, or whatever kind of things. And like I said in another video, I said, what if you are a landscaper and you want to, like, maybe let's say you want to do mason work or cement work, whatever, you do that on the weekends. Test it out to see if you have what it takes to do that thing full time. Like, if you're working in a full-time job and then you're working at it on the weekends, it can be exhausting. But if you have a vision for what you want for your future, then you keep your eye on the prize. You keep your eye on that dream, that vision for your future, and it really does drive you to do the things that people don't want to do, so you can have the things that people don't have, right? So test it out. You can do Facebook Marketplace. I bought some, what do you call those? Macaroons. I bought some macaron. There's a difference between macaroon and macaron. A macaroon is a coconut thing, like a coconut haystack thing. Macaron is that sandwich. It's the egg white cookie sandwich. So love those. Didn't know how to make them at the time. I do now, but I didn't know how to make them at the time. And I went on, I don't know how I found this girl on Facebook Marketplace. I think she made a post, and I saw the post, and the post was on Marketplace. And she made these macarons. And so I paid probably a lot for them. I mean, I probably paid too much, but it's whatever, because you're helping out another small business owner, right? I'm more than happy. If it's going to be like mass produced, I don't want to pay a lot for it. But if it's going to be made by somebody, made with care and love, and they put everything, they make all those things for you, like custom things for you, you're willing to pay extra. So I went up to North Vegas and I picked up these macarons, and they're pretty good. So, you can test out your market that way on Facebook Marketplace. Farmers markets, you can do swap meets, even someplace where you don't have to commit to a physical location. Because if your business is the type that requires a physical location, you want to make sure that your idea is a viable one. Because the worst thing is to start your business, be stuck in a lease, and it's like death. Like, I am not even kidding. So test. Okay, so once you're done testing everything, you're like, okay, I got a great product. I got a great service. I made tote bags. I love my tote bags. People love the tote bags. I was selling my tote bags actually at the swap meet at the Aloha Stadium. And that's how I tested it. I didn't even know at the time that was a thing, but I tested my products at the swap meet. And it was the coolest thing to see people walking around with my tote bag. I thought, I've arrived. Somebody has my tote bag. But, you know, so I did that. And graduated from the swap meet, and then I went door to door, and I was still selling my tote bags. And then I branched out, because I did my sewing. I branched out into pot holders and kitchen accessories, and yeah. So that's how you kind of test it to see if there's interest for what it is that you have to offer. What other ways okay, so after you're done testing, you're like, okay, I got it. I got all of the things that I know what I want to do. I want to do like plumbing on the side or whatever. So the next thing you're going to do is you want to legitimize your business by getting a business license. So find out what it is in your state, how to get a business license. And here in Nevada, you've got to get a state license and you've got to get a city license. So when I was living in Henderson, I had to register with the city of Henderson plus Las Vegas. So whatever, figure it out in your state, how you have to do that. So go get a license, because like I said, you want to keep your money separate. And in order to open up a checking account in your business name, you have to have a business license, because you've got to take it with you to the bank when you open up. And then think about, most people start out as a sole proprietor. That means that it's just you, sole is just yourself. And your social security number is going to be your tax ID number. But even though your social security number is going to be your tax ID for your business, keep the funds separate, because you're going to have to pay, whatever kind of taxes that you have in your state, right? You've got to pay local taxes, state taxes, city taxes, and then of course, federal taxes. So don't spend all your money when you make it. Okay. Like, don't spend all your money when you make it. Save at least, don't take this as advice, but just what I would do is just put aside 25%, because you don't want to be stuck paying a bill at the end of the year with money that you don't have. And then you've got to, I'll do another video later on like taxes and stuff like that, because depending on how much money you make and depending on your state, the rules for your state, in Hawaii, it's like if you make so much a month, you've got to file monthly. If you make so much quarterly, you got to file quarterly or semi-annually. So it depends on how much money you make, I think. But check with your state just to make sure that you're doing things correctly. And then with your business license, then you can go open up your checking account. Up it with like $50, $100 or whatever. And then you've got to do some accounting, like some simple accounting. I would suggest connecting QuickBooks to your checking account, because then everything gets funneled in there and you can categorize everything for your taxes. And I know that sounds a little complicated right now. Like, taxes is like my kryptonite, like the bane of my existence. I hate taxes. I hate it. Did I say I hate it? I hate taxes. What not so much that taxes, but I hate the process of having to put all my paperwork together and then send it in. And I really don't want to see how much I owe. I think that's what it is. I just despise paying taxes. And if you're from the IRS, my name is Mrs. Smith. Okay, so anyway, so that's that. That's how to start your business. And then you've got to start promoting your business. So I guess I'll do another video later on like all the different ways that you can market yourself, promote your business, because there is a ton of ways. Make it a website. When you have a website, it used to be like something extra that you had. Oh, you have a website. Some people still use Facebook as their website, but really, if you want a legitimate business and you want people to recognize you as a business owner, you gotta have a website. But you don't have to pay a ton of money for it. You can do it yourself, or you can make something very simple, as long as people have somewhere to go and check, because everybody vets everybody nowadays. They're going to check out your Facebook. They're going to check out your Instagram. They're going to check out your website. So, and then also if you have LinkedIn, make sure you do a company page on your LinkedIn, or at least add it to your profile that you're doing this thing. Except if you want to hide it from your boss. So let's not do that. But you get the idea. So I'll go into marketing more later. And just as an aside, that's my full-time business. I've been in marketing and advertising ever since like 1997. So what is that now? 24 years? Yeah, it's been a minute and a half that I've been doing marketing and advertising. So I've got a ton of stories to share about advertising and about my clients, and okay, so I'll tell you a story really quickly about, like parkouring your way up in your business. So I met a restaurant guy. I'm not going to say who it is. I kind of like, I tell stories, but I don't want to reveal anything. To protect the innocent, just kidding. So I had a client that we were calling on for advertising, and he was the contact for this restaurant, and he was the manager for this restaurant. Did some advertising for us, with us. And then later on, a few years down the line, he started his own restaurant, and he did it. It was wildly successful. And so he had one restaurant, and then he opened up another one, and then another one, and then so he opened 5 restaurants. And that's a testament to doing the thing that you want to do, making sure that you have experience. Expediter, that's the word I was looking for. Expediter is the guy that calls out the orders and makes sure that, all the orders come up and all that. And I learned that from Gordon Ramsay, my favorite. So he turned his idea into a flourishing business. And I think because of COVID, he had to shut one of them down, but he has 4 thriving businesses, and he's doing fantastic. And he does marketing and everything. So I wanted to mention that because that's a really good example for you of what happens when you have experience in the thing that you want to do, and you build it slowly. So you can build any side hustle into a full-fledged business if you take your time and, don't rush into anything and like go out and get a home equity loan to, start a t-shirt shop or something like that. That's just doesn't make sense. If you like doing t-shirts, if you like designing t-shirts, open yourself up, like an Etsy account or on Redbubble. Is it called Redbubble? I'm not too, I think, but you get the idea. So, you like designing t-shirts, and you don't have to print them all up and go to the craft fair or whatever. You can, like, for example, print up a few samples, go to sign up for the craft fair, and bring your laptop and get people to buy right from your account, your Etsy account. Because if you want to do print on demand, you're not going to be holding inventory, because this doesn't make sense today. Have people order right from your website on your laptop. You can do that. So anyways, I think that's all I had for today. I just really wanted to talk about, like, once you make your commitment, test things out, get started, get your license, and then we'll start talking about marketing and how you can get people to call you, get customers to your door, get people to buy your cookies, and to get people to order your things and all the things. So we'll talk about that next time. I really appreciate you hanging around to the end. If you did, we are at almost 19 minutes. I want to make these videos like 20 minutes long. And so, also, again, put some comments in the chat, because that's really going to help me create more content that you want to see. I think I have an idea of what you want to talk about, but it's better if you tell me what you want me to talk about, what you want me to chat about. So anyway, my name is Annie Kamai. That's my name, Annie Kamai. Kamai Chats, AKAMAI. Okay, that's all I had for today, guys. I will see you again, and thanks for sticking around. Bye.